This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. So, last class we have discussed how to create a GL account, tolerance group. In case if anybody has a doubt regarding tolerance group or GL creation, you can ask me. Once after we clear that, we'll proceed with the next part. Does anybody has a doubt?
No, ma'am.
Girls, am I audible to you all? Am I audible to you all?
Yes,
Let
ma'am.
me know. Okay. To get one reply, I have to ask you so many times. Yeah. Is my network is poor or like is there any voice breaking something you feel you please let me know
Yes, ma'am.
because after so much time I'm getting a response, so I'm not sure whether I'm really clear to you or not, so that's what I'm asking you again.
No, ma'am. It's clear only.
So do you have any doubts in this GL account creation? If anybody has a doubt, please let me know. Okay. So the last class, in very last class, what we have discussed is creation of GL account, right? We have discussed about creating GL account. So what is GL account? It is a ledger that is used for recording the transactions. The ledgers which is used for recording transactions. Now what we are going to see, how to record the transactions. This is what we are going to see now. Okay. So before that, you know what is invoice book means, voucher book, invoice book means. What is voucher? Voucher book or invoice book? Okay, look here. So in the last class, we have created the GL account FS00. FS00 is a T code. Before you start anything, we will use N or OO is used for creating another tab. N to open another file in the same location. N FS00, enter. Okay, now look this. These are the ledgers which we have created: assets, expenses, income, and liabilities. In case if you're not finding the company code of yours, right? If you're not finding your company code and these ledgers are displaying for some other company code, then you have an option here as change company code. You have to click on this, select your respective company code, give it, then click on the stick mark. The stick mark we call it as enter button, enter or continue button. You can either click on this. Once you click on this, it will lead you to your company ledger account, whatever you have created. Okay, now after this, after creating everything, we will have to make the transactions. Whatever the transaction we have to create, we can create using these entries. Okay, you know what is parking means? Parking. In general terms, you can answer me. I don't need the exact accounting part. Whatever you know about the parking, in general terms, you can answer me. Parking document. Parking document means I will make a transaction and the transaction will be kept on hold. That means we are just keeping the transaction in a bucket. We are not posting into book. So before book, so every transaction, whether you make a purchase, whether you make a sales, you pay expenses, income, or cash transaction, for all this transaction, you will have to record in a separate voucher book, or you can also call this as register. Purchase register, cash register, sales register, stock register, movement register. So like this, whatever we have dealing with in whichever the company you work for. Suppose you are working for a movement register. So when it is movement register, the movement of stock will be recorded. How much did you make a purchase? That is raw materials. With this, what are the co-products or byproducts you are using to manufacture? How much you are making a sales? The movement of from stock from one place to another, from one godown to another godown, or from your unit to another unit when it is moving. Then you will be using this register. Okay, so to record all the types of registers transaction, we have to create in each and every place, and this will be recorded based on number range. So the first part which we are going to create is number range. Define number range. Before parking, we will create document. Documents, that is your register. So first part here is define document range. Okay, define document range, which means whatever the transaction which we are going to pass on this register will have a series. Series means we can say this invoice number, right? Invoice number, bill number, whatever we are using, those bill number has to be recorded based on based on predefined details, predefined range. Okay, predefined range, which means for each and everything, by default there will be a code number 1 2 3 like this. Okay, so based on that we have to create. For sales there will be one, for purchase one. Suppose I'm making the entry for expenses and income. For this there will be a one voucher. For sales you will have one voucher. For the purchase you will have another voucher. Same way for sales return, also one more register. For after making the sales, if you are receiving any money from your customers, for this also you will be recording those transactions in different range. Now we are going to create a book. Okay, a book for recording the transactions that is related to expenses and income. For this, we'll go to the document range. We have already created this GL account. Now what I want to create the number range to pass the transaction slash n fbl1n. Okay, slash n is for opening another tab, fbn1 slash nfbn1. Then you press enter, you will get a list of number range. What is the company code for which you are going to create this number range? So company code is, I'm giving here as MCC1, enter. So in this, you have three options. See, intervals. So display intervals. Then you have change the status. Next, what you have? Change interval. This is not a change interval. This is actually creating interval. The third option is creating an interval. So we are going to create the register number. That is the like page numbers. How we will have one book will have a page numbers from 1 to 100, 100 to 200, the same way for our recording entries of purchases, sales, or expenses income. Each and every book will have a invoice number. For that invoice number, we are creating this interval. So you have this insert intervals, which means create intervals. Okay, let me click on this. Now, here we cannot use anything randomly. We have to give a defined series only. We are creating general ledger account. We are going to make a transaction general GL account. General GL account means the transaction that is related with expenses or income. It means paying and receiving of expenses or income. Now I take here as 01. Then, for which financial year? For which financial year you are recording this transaction for the year 2023? Then, from number to number, which are the series you want to give, that you can give as per your wish. Okay. Suppose let me give here as MCC 1001. Okay, so I'm just giving here the numbers. Whichever the number you want to give, you can give 0 MCC 1001, and here the number range I'll give here as MCC 2000. I'm giving. Then I press enter. Now see, it says only numerical characters only we have to give. So let me give here as the numerical character 1001 to 2000. These are my number range. Okay, or I'll give here as 1001, 199, 999 anything. So okay, let me give it till 2000 itself. Okay, so 1001 to 2000, I will be making the entries for paying the expenses and income. Press enter. So the intervals is been created. So intervals is been created. After pressing enter, press Ctrl S. Again enter for this message. So we have already successfully created. Enter. So see, you get this. The changes were saved. That means our data has been saved. Let me show you once again. You have to go for a T code FBN1. Okay, then search for your company code. I've given here as MCC1, and you have two options. When you have this glass icon, right, your specs, that is to display, and when it is a pencil for this interval, that is a option which is used for creating. You have to click on this intervals, go for this add intervals, that is plus insert intervals. Once you click on this, give the number 01 year 2023, from whichever the number you would like to maintain the series of number of transactions. Those transaction numbers you have to define. So I've given here 1001 to 2000. So after giving this, I have saved it. Done. So the next step is, now we can start making a transaction. In case, while making any transaction, if we have any kinds of error, we may also use another option, document splitting, which means I have to define what is balance sheet, what is profit and loss, what is income. So I am giving here a T code saying that GSP underscore, okay, I have to give slash n GSP underscore LZ2. Okay, then you press enter. So once after giving the T code, you get this charts of accounts. This method, we call it as document splitting. We are recording the transaction. In this transaction, we divide into what is income, what is expenses, what is related to balance sheet. So I'm giving here my charts of accounts MCC1. I've defined it as MCC1 everywhere. So I'm using the same thing, MCC1. Then click on this, enter. So once it is done, you get this. Now what we are going to do, we'll go for new entries. So account number from and to. So if you remember this, the previous step where we have created a chart of accounts, right? So chart of accounts for expenses 10012 2000. This is what we have created. So I'm going for the same thing. So 10001 10,001 to 20,000, and this is what, this is my expenses, right? This is expenses. So in this category, you have to click on this drop down options, or you press F4. Once you press F4, you will get this list. Now for expenses, you will select this expenses option 20,000. Directly click on this. Okay, select this. The next series is next option. Next option, what do I have? Income, that is 20,001 to 30,000. So after this, again select from the drop down option. Before that, confirm this. So income is 21,000 to 20,001 to 30,000. 20,001 to 30,000. So let's press F4 here. You will get a list of options. Now what is this income? Income we also call this as revenue. So I select here revenue. Next option 30,001 to 40,000. So this is my assets, right? This is my assets. So you can see here, this is my assets. 30,001 to 40,000 is my assets. Again, you can click on this F4, the drop down option. For this, we will directly take it as balance sheet instead of choosing here as assets and liabilities. When you choose it as assets, what will happen? So it will take it as fixed asset. Why? Because we have a separate cash account, vendor account, customer account, like this. So instead of bifurcating into separate ledger, we'll definitely take this balance sheet so that we can bifurcate this itself as balance sheet, which is having the assets and liabilities. So 40,001 to 50,000, which will come as my balance sheet. Again, press F4 for your drop down option. Select this balance sheet. Save this. Control yes. Okay, so same you are getting a description MCC 100 group configuration. I press enter here in order to accept the savings. Okay, till here if anybody has a doubt you can let me know. We have done two steps. One is document range creation. Okay, from which voucher, which number to which number we are making a transaction, and then we bifurcated, that is document splitting, what is expenses, what is income, what is balance sheet related assets and liabilities, we have bifurcated. In case if you have a doubt in this, you can let me know. Document, what is this? Split document, can you tell once again? Okay, Priti, split document means we have done a transaction here with this purchase and sales, assets, income, liabilities. We have configurations. So these are our charts of accounts which we have already created. Okay, so which we have already created. This number series is what it is my expenses. For this expenses, there is a predefined number range. Okay, predefined number range which is 20,000. Okay, so this is 20,000. And then for this income, they have already defined it saying that revenue. Revenue means income, and this is having a sequence of 30,000. Then after this, we have a assets. So I said you that assets is having a three parts like current assets, fixed assets, and a fixed assets, tangible assets, intangible assets, loans and advances. So I cannot bifurcate all the assets in one by one or one after the other. So instead what I'm doing, I'm setting this as a balance sheet. Okay, for this, the predefined code is 0, 1000. Balance sheet means which also considers assets. plus liabilities. Again, in liabilities also, I'm not selecting a different options. So you see here, when I go here and click on this drop down, you have many options. So vendors is also your liabilities. Vendor special GL account is your liabilities. Taxes is your liabilities, right? Loans is your liability. So I cannot show this separately. Instead, I'm showing this at one go, saying that this all belongs to my balance sheet. Okay. So again, the balance sheet for which the predefined number what we have is 0, 1000, close the bracket, enter. Understood about this? Preeti? Preeti responds me. Any Russell?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll proceed by making the transactions. So transactions, when we say, we have again two methods of making the transactions. That is directly making an entry, or make the entry, wait for the senior to approve your entry. Only then that entry will be considered as your voucher. So we call this as document parking. Document parking, which means we make a transaction, which means a entry, debit and credit. We make a transactions with a debit and credit, what comes, what goes, what is the flow, everything we will be recording as a transactions. So once we record this transaction, we can keep it in a two forms. One is park, the next one is post. So park means directly it is considered to be an entry. Means it is officially related to your reports. Reports, it can be your ledger statement, it can be your balance sheet, income and expenses, profit and loss, any statement, right? So any statement. The same thing I'm also doing here as post. Sorry, I made here a mistake. So it is post. Park means I'm not making an entry officially. I'll be posting this. That means we keep the entry in a bucket, okay, to get confirmed. Okay, might be we made some entry, or we need a confirmation from the senior person or from the other person. So for that, we will keep this on a bucket. We are not giving it, we are keeping in a bucket. Then we will put it into each and every book wherever there is required. So first thing what we are going to see here is park document parking. Okay, for this, okay, for parking document. To park this document, we must use again the T code. So whichever the T code you have, you can use this. So document parking, I'm using here F slash NF icon 65 slash NF icon 65. Okay, press enter. Okay, now see, again, document date, posting date. Document date means on which date you are receiving the bill. The bill received date. Suppose I made a purchase today, today's date. Or I made a purchase yesterday, I paid office expenses yesterday, and I'm making a transaction today. So the transaction, what happens? I'm making an entry today, and the bill was raised Yesterday, right? So which means document date, office rent was paid yesterday, so yesterday's date. And when I'm making an entry, today I'm making, so that is posting date. Okay, so we have a components here, document date, that means bill raising date, bill raised date. Then you have posting date. Posting date means on which date you are making a entry. Okay, so say example, we'll make the transaction list one by one. According to that, we will make here. So on today's 14th, so 13/09/2023, paid rent. So okay, first we will start with the capital. Without money, we cannot run a business also. So on 13/9/2023, Mr. A started a business with rupees 1 lakh as a capital. Now, what will be the transaction? Can someone say me what will be the debit and what is going to be a credit? So you have to respond me at least for the transactions. Mr. A is starting a business with 1 lakh rupee. What is debit and what is credit? You people are accounting students, right? Please tell me what will be the debit and what will be the credit. If you don't answer me, it will be very difficult for us to make the transactions also later on. Okay, let me tell you in that case, since no one is responding, but I need you all to be active when we are making our transactions. If this is the case, then it won't work out. I won't be able to understand whether you people are really understanding or concentrating or not. Okay, so I'm doing the transaction here. Mr. A is starting a business with rupees 1 lakh. That means 1 lakh is what? It is a cash. So we are taking here debit what comes in, cash in hand. Okay, and credit what? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Who is giving here? Mr. A is giving. So this is what we are recording here. Okay, next step. Okay, so let me give here as the heading transaction steps. Okay, posting date is done, entry date is done. Now we will go here to make it the entries. On which date I'm making an entry? I made a payment. Yesterday was a bill raise, so 13/9/2023. So you have to give the date here. So I'm giving here 13/9/2023 posting date. Document type, I already told you, SA, that is a GL account type. GL account type. So for which we are doing 01, the documentation we have created as 1001 to 2000. These are the range of entries which we are doing. That is book number. Book number, page numbers. The page number is 1001 to 2000 is the page number for this packet for making the entries. Okay, what is my company code? MCC1. Posting date, when I'm making an entry, today I'm making an entry. Period. So which month you're making an entry? April is the first month. If you remember this, I think have written in this again. Posting period, parking date, this also we have already discussed. So let me check where I have written. Here. Okay, so April month is the first month of transaction. Now we are in which month? September. So September is which month? Sixth month. As per the calendar, it is a ninth month, but we are doing accounts from April. So April is 1, May is 2, June is 3, July 4, August 5, September 6. We are making till September 6. Okay, so let me give here, this is the sixth posting period is sixth month. Okay, currency, in which currency you are making, so it is INR. Okay, INR. Document, this and all is not required to fill. Okay, so we have already given here as INR. Document number for your reference, if you at all you want to give document number, reference number, you can give this. Now let me update the same details here. Posting date is done. Document type, by default it will be SA. Document type, by default this is going to be a SA. And then what we have, period. Period is sixth month. Month is 6 because it is the September. Why? Because we count from April to March. Based on this, we are doing this. Then, after this period, in which currency you are maintaining your entries. So, I am doing the currency in INR, Indian rupee. So, after this, what else we have? That's all. Now, we will start making the transaction. Here, what you have? Posting key 40, account you have. So, what is posting key here? For selecting each and every line. Okay, so what it is? To select the line item. Line item means whether it is a debit or credit. So if it is a debit, if it is a debit or credit, or whether it is a purchase, whether it is a sales. For purchase, what you have to select. For sales, what you have to select. For debit, what you have to select. For credit, what you have to select. By default, it is predefined. We are only selecting. Okay, so to select, for debit it is 40, for credit it is 50. Okay, so let me show you this also. Can you see this posting key 40? So you have this drop down option. You can either click on this or press F4. You will get a list. Okay, you will get a list. Okay, so let me go for this. Look here. So 40 is what? Debit entry. 50 is what? Credit entry. 70 is debit asset. 75 is credit asset. Same way for each and everything. So invoice, credit memo, other receivables, outstanding payment, payment difference. For each and everything, there is one option. And in this account type, this is account means it is a customer, vendor, assets, purchase, GL account, material, this one. And then D and C means whether it is a debit or credit. What is your purpose of doing this? Now I am taking here 40. 40 is what? Debit. So what I have to debit here? We have to debit cash in hand. For the first transaction, what we have to do? Cash in hand. Debit what comes in. So I cannot select here, just type here as cash in hand. It is wrong. We should not do this. For cash in hand, we have already created a GL account, if you remember. So I used to always give slash n, right? Now this time I'm giving slash o fs00, enter. Now see, I have this parking document as it is, park document as it is, this tab. I got a new tab for this edit GL account. So under this assets, I've selected what? Cash in hand, and the range is 3001, 30,001, right? Same thing here also we are doing here. Account, I have this drop down option, function F4. That is F4 you have to press, function key. Or you can click on this drop down option also, whichever you want. So I'll go here, GL account. I'll click on this, a drop down option. Now see, the company code is MCC1 directly. In case if you do not have this company code, change it to the company code what you have. In this GL account, don't type anything, just press enter. Then you will get all the list of charts of accounts which we have created here. So what I want? 30,001, that is cash in hand. Select this, enter. Again enter. So you will get another screen for defining the details. So account amount is 1 lakh. 1 lakh is your amount. If you want to mention the business area, you can mention it. Calculation of tax we will see separately. Okay, now how to make the transaction we will understand. And after this, I'm not filling any other details. I'll go for a text. Okay, text. So text means, okay, text means, I'll just put it this below this itself. Text means you all know the narration, how to give a narration. So the narration is called as text. Narration is called as text. So I'm giving here Mr. A has started a business with 1 lakh cash, or with just saying that Mr. A has started a business, this is enough for me. And then posting key 50, 50 is for credit account, right? We have to fill this also. So here I again mention, that is after this you have a posting key, then you have a account option, select GL account, whatever you're making a transaction based on that. After this, okay, GL account, now it is a credit. Now what I have to select? I have to select the party name giver. So Mr. A's capital, Mr. A's share capital, select it, again enter. Okay, amount, now I can type the same 1 lakh, I can type same 1 lakh, or I can use here another shortcut key, that is to copy from the debit what I made. Debit I mentioned the amount, I mentioned a narration. For credit also I have to mention the amount and the narration. So instead of mentioning, I'll copy from the debit to the credit. To copy amount, right? Copy amount, it is star, you have to give a star. To copy the narration, you have to give a plus, and then save it, control yes. Now you have to get that the document has been parked with the voucher number which we have defined. Okay, so the voucher number what we have defined here in the first step, expenses document posting. So here invoice number based on predefined range we have given here as 01 for the year 2003 2023, and then we have given the number from 1001 to 2000. Now you must get see, you can see here Document 1001 was parked. That means we have placed this entry in a bucket. Now the admin has to approve it. He will park it, or you can park it later on. Once you have to say, example, I made an entry. I'm not sure whether this is the amount, whether this is the date. I'll confirm and then put it into an accounting, putting into an accounting system. In that case, you will make it this, keep it in a park. So we made it a parking of entry. So the document has been parked here. You can see this. Let's make one more entry also. Instead of A's capital, they will make another entry as B's capital. Okay. So same thing. I'm just copying this. Copy. Then on second, that is the second entry, the same date, instead of Mr. A, it is going to be Mr. B. Okay. Let's do this entry. So posting entry on 13/09/2023, the bill was raised. So that is 13/09/2023. Document type SK MCC1. Posting date today I'm making an entry for the month of September in INR currency. Then there is no other changes I'm doing. I'll go for this posting key. Posting key 40 is for debit. Debit what? Cash in hand. So press F4, press the enter button from the GL account. Select your cash in hand. Then enter the amount I'm giving here as 2 lakh. Instead of 1 lakh, we will make it as 2 lakh. And then we will give a narration here saying that Mr. B, Mr. B has started a business. Then go for the posting key 50, that is credit. And again, we will select from the drop down option Mr. B's capital. Mr. B's capital. Then again enter. To copy the amount, it is star, and to copy the narration, it is plus. Then you save it. So document 1002 was parked. 1002 is being parked. So here I made it 2 lakhs. Okay. So I gave here as debit and credit. Okay. Next one. To copy debit amount. To copy debit amount, what it is? We have to use star. Okay. I'll just give here as to copy line item amount. It can be from debit to credit or credit to debit also. So example, I'll just give here as we are doing with the debit amount to credit. Then to copy text, which means first of all text means it is a narration. To copy narration line item. Narration line. So we use plus. Okay, we use a plus, and to copy amount we use star. Example, that is debit narration. To credit narration. Okay, debit narration to credit narrations, we are copying it. Okay, so for this we are using plus and star. Okay, so two entries we have made. Let me make one more entry, then we will see where all these entries has been stored. Okay, so we will make a third entry. Third entry, you have to say me what is debit and what is credit, because I'm not going to do this transaction until you answer me. Okay, now paid office deposit, or we can say it as rent deposit rupees 50,000. 50,000 by cash. Now tell me what has to be debit and what has to be credit. You want me to display the transactions? I can show you. You have to answer me. Until that, I'm not going to do this transactions. I'm given here paid what? Rent deposit by cash. So 50,000. Tell me what has to be debited and what has to be credited. See girls, you have to respond me. All are commerce students, so you have to know this what is debit and what is credit. If you don't say me, then how will I be able to proceed this? A simple transaction. You have a rent deposit. That means you are taking a place to run your business on a rental places. For that rent, you're paying the advance money. Okay, for that building, you're paying the advance money. So that is called as rent deposit. And you are paying 50,000 by cash. Now, what has to be debited? What has to be credited? You all know what is nominal account, what is real account, what is personal account. Give me an answer for this. Yes, no, say something. Why no one is there? You just connected and being quiet. Please someone responds me. And I don't think so you people are responding me. I just saw Preeti unmute and muting this. Okay. So, but still I'm not able to hear anything. In case if you want to respond, please respond on a chat box at least. If you're feeling a difficult to unmute and answer, please put it on a chat box. Nothing. So deposit here is rent deposit. Credit what? It is rent deposit is where we are paying it. So debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So here cash in hand, that is cash is being paid. Cash is being paid. So what we have to do, we are going to make a transaction here again. Okay, another transactions. So what I'll do here is I'll do one more transaction. Posting date, so I'm taking here the same date. Okay, today's date only. So 14/09/2023 SAMCC1 14/9. Okay, sixth period in the currency of INR. What I'm doing, I'm debiting what? Deposit, rent deposit, F4. Enter. Now see here, I do not have an option here as rent deposit. I do not have an option here as rent deposit. So in that case, what should I do? I have to create. So FS00, I've already opened /OFS00. This Now this comes under my assets. So I have to create a new one. That is from where the last one was 30,003. Now I'm going to create 30,004. Enter. So balance sheet, it is your assets, and you can say this as rent deposit. So I'm giving the same thing here also, rent deposit. Okay, control data, let's go. Here line item display, sort key 001, create bank interest. Okay, field status variant G001. Then we will save this. Okay, again enter to accept this display message for the GL account. Create data is saved, but still it won't display you. You have to close this and reopen once again. Click on this drop down option again, then go press enter under the GL account. You will find an option here as rent deposit. Select this, enter the amount. How much we are paying is 50,000. Okay, then we will go for this text. So rent security deposit, security deposit is security deposit paid for rent. Okay, paid for rent. And then we will go for posting key, that is 50 credit. Again F4 I'm using for drop down instead of clicking on this. Enter for the GL account. So this has been paid by cash in hand. Enter. So to copy the amount it is star, and to copy the narration it is plus. Control S. The entry is saved. Now you can see here document 10,003 was parked. The entry is been parked. Okay, now what we will do, we will see this entries, where these entries are actually posted, where it is actually available, all this entry. Okay, we are going to view this parking entry. So where we'll go, we'll change this screen /n to close this and open another screen in the same place /n, and the T code for displaying the Parker document FBV3. Enter. So you will get this document number. So what I'm doing, you can see one by one 1001. Okay, enter. So that entry will be displayed. See, those entry will be displayed. Again F3. Now, or I can do one more thing. I'll remove this display number, that is document number. Click on this document list. Document list. Okay, I'm only giving company code for which financial year. Then click on this execute button. Click on this execute button. So 3 transaction we have done. All the 3 transaction has been displayed. Click on individual entry to see this entry. Go back. Then again second entry, so 2 lakhs. Again go back. Then the third entry, you can see here what is debit and what is credit, what is the amount, all the things you can see here. Again go back. Again we will go back for this. Again I'm pressing back screen. Okay, these are displaying the Packard document. Display Packard document. Done. Any doubts on this? Any doubts in this? Girls, response me. Okay. So do you have any doubts on this? Do you have any doubts for today's class? Reply me. Say something yes, no.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So that's all for today. We'll see in tomorrow's class. And moreover, I know that most of them has got your SAP installed today. So from tomorrow, we will do from the beginning company creation, and you people will do along with me. Right? I'll be explaining you step by step, and you are going to do it. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Fine then. Bye everyone. See you next class.
Bye, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.